Oh, strap in, folks. I'm going to go off on one here. Let's get the positives out of the way. We won the game. We're into the next round. It's 7 wins in a row. And Marcus Rashford is one of, if not the best player in the league right now. The form that he's in. He's certainly the most dangerous when he's running with the ball and he's scoring a lot of goals. That's the positives out of the way. And now for the negatives, because that was shambolic. That was absolutely disgraceful performance. We're all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. First 5 minutes, we were really good. And I thought, when we went 1-0 up, I thought, my word, we're going to go off on one here and we're going to win 4 or 5-0. We were carrying momentum, we were creating chances. And then the first mistake happens, which is, of course, the David De Gea mistake, and we'll get to that in a moment. But from that point onwards, it's as if it completely derailed the whole team. They just completely lost their heads. And I don't know if that's just what I said. They were distracted by De Gea's mistake, but all of a sudden, there were just gaps everywhere in the defence. And when we had the ball, it was so disjointed. Players were all over the place. Martial was doing nothing. Bruno was just trying flicks and tricks, and so was Anthony. And Rashford was still looking dangerous when he had it, but I thought Godfrey played really well against him. Eriksen hasn't come back from the World Cup, the same player that he left. Even Casemiro was giving away the ball tonight. And some of his tackles weren't very good. And then the defence was just... It was so open. I couldn't believe it. I felt sorry for Wan-Bissaka. I know you've got to give Dalot time to get back into the first team after his injury, but we needed Wan-Bissaka out there tonight. Demarai Gray was running riot. I mean, going full Jonathan Ross. I can't say my R's. But Demarai Gray was absolutely running riot on Diogo Dalot tonight. He just didn't know how to tackle him. And we just needed Wan-Bissaka in there just to calm down Everton's attacks because it just looks so loose. And Malacia was the same on the other side. They both are better going forward, don't get me wrong. Dalot and Malacia are very good attack-minded fullbacks, but you can't leave your defence that exposed. And I think that was the key tonight. Sure, we obviously were singing his plaudits for how well he's played at centre-back, but essentially, we were playing with 3 at the back when Wan-Bissaka was playing. Yes, Wan-Bissaka was getting forward well as well, but when we lost the ball, Wan-Bissaka was coming back in and essentially making it Wan-Bissaka, Varane and Shaw, with Malacia then tracking back on his side. But tonight, Malacia was at left wing, Dalot was at right wing, and you just had Varane, Shaw and Casemiro dealing with 4 Everton attackers. And it was... Oh, honestly, if we play like that, if we play that openly against Manchester City and Arsenal in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get annihilated. That is no exaggeration. We're going to get annihilated because, I'll be honest with you, Everton are not a very good team. They're probably going to take a lot of confidence out of that game because of how well they attacked. But it's because we let them. And if they actually had some half-decent end product, they could have beaten us quite easily tonight because the amount of times Gray got in behind and Mopé was in behind and Gordon and McNeil after they came on, Calvert-Lewin, they created far too many chances. Onana and Doucouré bursting from midfield too easily. You do that with the likes of De Bruyne and Odegaard and Haaland and Mahrez and Saka and Foden and whoever you want from those 2 teams that we're coming up against, we're going to get destroyed. And it's a real concern that, because I know we've not played great. I know we've been winning games and I said we've not been playing great. But in my opinion, that's been our worst performance since the World Cup. And it was an opportunity to be our best performance from those first 5 minutes where we could have been 2 or 3-0 up and obviously threw it away after the equaliser. And then, of course, we have to talk about that equaliser and my good mate David De Gea, who I tend to have rants about every, 3 or 4 weeks. And how many times do I have to say about problems with David De Gea before the rest of the Manchester United community wake up and realise that he is not the right goalkeeper for this football club? I mean, he's leaning on the post. And he's just, use your hands. The ball comes down. He could still save it with his legs, but he doesn't close his legs properly. He's gripping onto the post for balance. You're a goalkeeper. If you've not got balance, what the hell are you doing? And then, obviously it goes in, and then from there, he comes out at one point in the second half, which you never see De Gea do. It's one of my biggest criticisms of him. He never comes out. To probably Diogo Dalot's surprise as well, because he's not vocal, so he probably had no idea De Gea was even coming and nearly caused a disaster. And then even the goal that they scored that was offside. Have a look at that goal again, because guess what David De Gea's doing when that cross comes in? He's leaning on the post again. What? How is he supposed to make a save? How is he supposed to come out of his goal and prevent something from going in if he's leaning on the post? Again, you do that against City and Arsenal with the quality they've got, we'll get ripped to shreds. And it's just thankful that Marcus Rashford is in the form that he's in, because if he wasn't, we wouldn't be winning these games. I mean, we've scored 3 goals tonight, and he's got 2 assists and a goal. Granted, the goal was a penalty. A penalty I don't actually think was a penalty, if I'm being honest. I think Garnacho went down far too easily, and I thought Godfrey did really well. And like I said, I thought Godfrey had a very good game for Everton. So I don't even think that should have been a penalty. But if it wasn't for Marcus Rashford's running and creating of chances tonight, we wouldn't have won this game. And that probably would have been a case for a couple of the other games we've played in the last few weeks as well. And the worry is, it's not so much a worry against Arsenal. I think I fancy him against Ben White. But if Kyle Walker's fit, he kept Kylian Mbappe quiet. He's going to keep Marcus Rashford quiet. So if we're not going to get the chances from Rashford, I don't know where they're coming from at the moment. Bruno looks a bit all over the place. Martial looks well out of form. Anthony doesn't own a right foot. I know he scored with his right foot tonight, but it was a slide. It could have come off any part of him and it would have gone in. Every time he tries to do something with his right foot, unless it's skill related, doesn't come off. He can't pass, he can't shoot with it. Every time he gets the ball, he's forcing it onto his left foot. Makes him very predictable to play against. So I don't know where the creation's going to come from his side of the pitch. And like I say, Eriksen's been a bit off the boil recently as well. He had one very good shot tonight, which I thought was in, but his creativity's been down. Bruno's not been at his best. Anthony's all over the place. Martial has seemingly lost his form again. Maybe it's because now that he's back in the team, he probably thinks he's made it again and can slack off. But all in all, it's just, I'm really, really frustrated with that performance tonight. And the reason why it's frustration rather than disappointment is because we've won. So it's probably been the first opportunity I've had to have a rant like this, because we've managed to win the game with all the frustrations that normally leave me in disappointment because we've not won a game. So yeah, big concerns going into the Man City game, because I don't really know who else we can bring in. Obviously, we need Leacher back in at centre-back and Shaw at left-back coming up against Man City. In my opinion, Wan-Bissaka has to play against Manchester City. I think he's the only right-back we've got with a half a chance against, whether it's Foden or Grealish or whoever. Wan-Bissaka should, at his best, shut down whoever plays on that left-hand side for Man City, whereas I think Dalot gets picked off. If he's getting picked off by Damari Gray, he's getting picked off by Foden and Grealish. So for me, Wan-Bissaka has to come in, and we need a good week's training. I know the Charlton game's coming up, but I think we'll play a lot of youngsters and reserve players in that Charlton game. So hopefully we get through that game, and then all focus heads to Man City, where we're going to need one of the best performances I've ever seen from a Manchester United side to get a result there. I know City had a rough game, have had a rough couple of weeks with the draw with Everton themselves, and in my opinion, a poor performance against Chelsea last night that was won by 15 minutes of Man City brilliance. But they put in the effort they normally put into a Manchester derby, and we play like that, it's going to be 6 again. So concerning signs from what I've seen in terms of the performances on the pitch, but I cannot complain about the fact that it is 7 wins in a row. And most importantly, we're into the next round of the FA Cup. So we'll do the negativity sandwich. We start with the positives. We end with the positives with a massive rant in the middle. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts about that, because, yeah, I'm very concerned about that performance and I'm very frustrated about that performance. So, yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think. Drop a like if you enjoyed the rant. Subscribe for more reactions to the Manchester United games. I'll see you very soon.